We have hostility going on in this room between you and the producer, but the producer's a different producer this time. It's your child, it's your son, Enzo. And I feel like we're about to all come to blows right now. What's going on?
Well,
what did he do all day?
You just answered this. It's my son. Like, of course there's hostility.
Well, first of all, his hair looks awesome right now.
His hair does actually look pretty good.
If you guys don't know, he's got like crazy red hair, but it's like a good style though. It's like very layered and textured.
Yeah, it is.
Well, I just asked you right now if you get offended by like the ginger thing or whatever, because I remember you never were offended. You used to come into the gym, call yourself a flaming hot Cheeto or something like that. But I remember I told a joke one time, and then I said something about like redhead, or I said ginger or something like that, and I looked at your face, and you were just like, like you had just like I had, killed your family. Like it was like
me or him.
Enzo.
Okay.
You don't get bothered. You don't care.
No, but somebody I remember one time said something, forget what it was, and they like made a joke. It might have been like Nico or something. Somebody did something. I was like, no, don't do that. And it's Derek. Oh. Yeah, it was Derek. Yeah, and I shot it down really fast. I was like, no.
I thought we were on that page because you kept going, I'm flaming hot Cheeto with this red hair. So I was like, oh, it's fair game. And I didn't even go crazy. I just said, yeah, and Enzo's ginger.
Oh, he was. You were about to die.
I was about to die. So all these years later, Enzo, and now you're like what, 14? Sorry, bro. You were like 6 at the time.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry.
You can actually talk into the mic if you turn, but you're gonna have to like unmute yourself. But I don't even know.
Yeah, you should unmute yourself, because little do the people know that Enzo actually had a show, his own show. Yeah. He was making picks and selections and videos, and he does pretty well.
Testing. Oh wait, I can already hear myself.
Hold on, people.
We might have to clip.
You keep talking, but
well, I wanted to ask about Seattle and talk about a little bit of the situation. Also, this is a night podcast, and we're not getting drunk for the first time.
It doesn't feel right.
Well, I'm just laughing because we live in Phoenix, for the people that don't know. And we had our first day of hot weather, and all of a sudden you're selling your house now. Now we have to get a new podcast studio. 1 day of heat. You did this last time, and then you ended up building this whole podcast studio because of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess he is good. He can speak. Yeah. Yeah, remember last time I was hot in the old studio? And
that was a good studio.
That was a good studio.
This is a great setup too, but I feel like this is more for you than it is for us. That one was for us.
Well, this is at my house.
I digress,
Man, so before we get into the world's worst card, which we just already figured with the best fight on the card is Luana and Montana De La Rosa, which
that is like Anderson Silva versus Izzy. Like that, to me, that's what that is.
All right, to put this, I mean, the main event was supposed to be what, Royval and Kape for a title eliminator.
Okay.
Now we have Asu, whatever versus Kape. Co-main event, Cody Brundage and Julian Marquez.
It's must-see TV.
Like, I mean, it's bad. Before we do that, let's talk Seattle.
Okay.
That sucked.
What part? All the liberals?
Yeah.
Oh.
No, it was Seattle's actually a cool city. I'd never been there before.
It's nice. I could tell it would be your style because you're very like bougie, trendy, kind of cool. And it's just a very laid back.
It was a little liberal. Like you could see that, like whatever. But I mean, we're just there for, if I lived there, it would get annoying.
But a visit there, you can put up with a little bit of green hair.
Yeah. Actually, a lot of like middle-aged men with like green dyed hair. I'm like, what are you doing?
I hate this because we drive Teslas, but you know what kind of vehicle each and every one of them also drive. Yeah. It's all Teslas. But it's fun. It kind of builds the environment.
Up there. That would suck. But anyway, it was a cool place to visit. It reminded me of like Brooklyn. Like if Brooklyn met San Francisco or something like that.
Great analogy. It's a very trendy, fun city. It's fun.
Food, walkable. A lot of cool stuff. The city itself is very nice. There's a lot of like
Space Needle is 20 minutes walk from the public market. That's awesome.
It's just a cool spot. And actually, Space Needle, they had a song, and Henry had a photo shoot there for this face-off. And we were getting ready to leave, and then Henry's like, "Hey, do your kids want to come?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And so he made the bus wait. It was like we were already running late, and then he made the camera people get up to give their seats to the kids. And that was actually kind of cool.
Enzo, how did that feel kicking off a cameraman?
It was pretty fun. Because, like, they just had to stand, and we were pretty chill.
You were just laughing about it? You didn't go like, hey, that's okay, I'll stand. I'm young. I got young legs. You have a big, heavy camera. You just were like, cool, that's my spot. Thanks.
Well, I didn't really know, like, that Henry kicked him out, like, to, like, stand. I just found out about that, like, after.
Did you spit on his shoes and say, it's my spot?
No, I just sat on my dad's lap.
Lennox sat down, just like sprawled out, and so just like sat kind of like on my lap and like half on another chair
In case he needed to move or jet out really quickly.
Yeah. Why does he sound like a man and I sound like I was like that I transitioned at 20?
You have a nasal drone and he's like a baritone over there.
Yeah, he's like, why does he sound like he's 3 years older than me and smoked his whole life?
Can you narrate this like Morgan Freeman, please? Each and every title. Are you saying the names for us or are we saying the names?
I'll say the names.
He can't say the names.
Say
He'll
one.
probably be better than Gabe. But anyway, yeah, Seattle was fun. It was a fun experience. Good to reconnect with Henry. Most fun camp I've had with him for a long time.
Did you have a chance to see the piece yet that I told you about?
Yeah, it was a lot shorter than I thought. It was just like a quick little snippet, but
It wasn't quick to me. It felt like an eternity.
I know it's too long. I was watching myself up there. I was like, man, this could end. I looked down.
You've been
it
to
was like
the
4
ups
seconds.
and the downs, the valleys and
Yeah,
the peaks.
the all arounds, the roller
You gave
coaster.
every analogy you possibly could.
But man, he got eye poked, and what people don't realize is he'd never been eye poked before, and so he was like, "Oh, it'll be fine. My vision will get better really quickly." And then he was trying to continue, and the 5 minutes came up, and he was like, "No, I'm good," and was like, "No, I will be good," is what he was thinking. He's like, "I will be good. It's just an eye poke. Those are dumb. They're not real."
No, they are
And
the
he
worst.
he even said that to me, to Herzog. He's like, "I've never been eye poked before, like mid."
Never in his whole career. Not in
Mm.
practice, nothing.
No, I mean like a scratch. You know, like, hold on a second. You know, you just. But
I've been deep eye poked, and that is like some of the worst.
Oh,
You feel a bruise on the back of your actual eye.
I'd never been eye poked until a couple of years ago, probably 5 years ago, and I was always like, "You guys are pussies. Whatever. This isn't real."
Oh no.
And then I got eye poked, and I couldn't see, and it like was like sand in my eye for like 3 days, and it was like, I mean, we have a fighter, Kyle, who doesn't have an eye because of it. Look at Michael Bisping. I mean,
Are we allowed to talk about Kyle? Should we give him airplay?
No.
What's
let's
so
not do that.
funny? Like the guy who did it to him always gives him shit when he comes to the gym. It's like, hey, how's your eye? Bet you can't see me over here.
Oh no, it was Junior Cortez. I actually talked to Junior about that. I said, dude, because he should be in the UFC now. He was beating Mana Martinez's ass
Yeah.
every second of that fight, probably 7 minutes in. Then the eye poke, and he called it off. I said, Junior, you got to keep your hands shut, because if he had won that fight, there's a good chance he gets signed to the UFC. Then he took Kyle's eye. I mean, it's like he plucked
took
it out.
his eye. He's
took
got a
his eye.
glass eye.
Doesn't
He pulls
work
it out
now.
like a party trick
Yeah.
all the time.
And then he did that to Kevin Natividad as well. Kevin was out for like 3 weeks or a month because of the Junior in his fingers.
Oh wow.
But eye pokes are real, and Henry didn't know what was going on. He wanted to continue. Then when he started continuing, he was like, all right, I'm going to go fight. And then he went to fight and was like, I can't see a thing. Like, he's going to kill me here. And he even said, he's like, yo, he's going to knock me out. Like, I can't see anything. Like, I have zero shot, with his eye. Like, he just is like, I can't do anything. What do you want me to do here? And then, of course, went to the scorecards and whatever. But it's just unfortunate that everything went down that way. And his eye, I actually talked to him last night. Eddie had to bring him to the doctor because he can't drive or anything. He's like, dude, I can't drive. And he has like a hole in his eye. They gave him antibiotics to hope, stave off infection. They're hoping that his vision will correct in a couple of weeks. So it probably won't be long term. But man, that shit is scary.
Yeah, kind of a weird ending to such a good card. I mean,
Yeah.
what a cool
That whole
card.
card was insane. Everyone was dying.
I think I got high and watched the Silva Bagdasarian fight, and I was as happy as I possibly could have been for not seeing a long, really good extended fight. Like Silva's, how are you going to beat that guy?
Dude, that guy. He was in our room warming up, and it was funny.
Do you have a story with this?
No, nothing crazy. He was just so mellow. All of his team, they're just like joking and like warming up. And he has, I don't know if it's his wife or girlfriend or sister or who holding mitts for him. And then just this like older guy, the coach, just with like a notepad and a pen. And they're just like messing and hanging out. it was really interesting to see just the dynamic and how mellow and happy they were. He was just chilling.
I think the scariest thing about him is he just legitimately looks like he's having so much fun in there.
Yeah.
And that moment to moment, everything is just small victories for him. It's not like, I'm going to knock him out. It's like, I just won that exchange. I won that exchange. Look at that. I won that exchange. In every moment, he's having so much fun. And I think that freaks people out.
Yeah. Freaks me out watching it because it's just such a weird thing to see people that mellow and calm.
Like he's just laughing with every exchange. People are getting frustrated with it, but like, that's a good tactic. It works.
And eventually he always finds a way to win. And we talked about that. We're like, man, I don't know how he's going to win, but he will find a way to win. I was
wasn't expecting that kind of blowout like that.
I was expecting a decision or maybe not a decision, but even going in the third round and wearing him down and setting something up. But that was just.
I thought Melsick was going to hurt him at some point. I thought we were going to see a competitive fight. And that showed his level. I didn't think he had hand speed like that.
Yeah. Most competitive fight I thought was Andre Fili and Melky.
Dude, sorry, pardon my language. What is that? What is going on?
I have no idea. I was dead set. I was like, Fili's going to kill him.
You said he's going to beat his ass, and he did. No, he beat his ass for 4 minutes. And
then just like jumped.
He's like, hey.
Yeah.
Put himself in it.
He jumped. He got silly and jumped the ghillie. It was like.
Did that not look suspicious to you? He grabs the elbow and readjusts it across the neck.
Yeah.
Of his own neck.
Maybe he was, but wasn't Melky a big favorite? So it's like
no, they were no.
Were they neck? Were
they
neck and neck by the
and
time?
Submission was plus 700. You can beat his ass on the feet and say, "No, I was whooping him. Look, I got submitted," and everyone goes home very rich and very happy.
Yeah,
but it's all good. C-Rod's gonna get it back.
C-Rod's beating Melky.
He's gonna kill him.
Yeah. Only issues is in Mexico City. That is some elevation.
I give C-Rod the cardio there.
Yeah, but the issue is with C-Rod and elevation is he's such a mellow guy in terms of even his fight style that we saw with the Rosa that if he starts swinging and going, like his cardio is a little suspect at that elevation if he's not. But he also showed up like last minute and stuff.
He also told me, I actually, for those of you guys who don't know, I talked to C-Rod the other day. We had like a 25-minute phone conversation. It's all good. The world is good. Life's good. He told me for that fight, something like he had gotten hurt during that fight.
Oh, you're right.
And he didn't train at all for that fight.
I forgot about that.
He said all he did was run and all he did was run.
Yeah.
And then went out and fought.
Yeah. What do you do? Well, let's get into this week's fights. Who do we got, producer Enzo?
First fight, Montella de la Rosa versus Luana, Carolina.
You messed up the very first word you ever said onto the mic. You said, what do you say, Montanella or something like that?
I said Montana.
Okay, I need you to repeat this, and it's Luana, Carolina. One more time, please, from the top. And a little bit louder. Put some bass in your voice.
Montana de la Rosa.
Hey.
De la Rosa.
A little loud, all right? Somewhere in the middle.
Montana de la Rosa versus Luana, Carolina.
Well, the volume level is good.
The volume is good.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. I didn't watch tape on this, but Montana has actually gotten better lately. She looks
her striking.
Yeah. Her striking looks. I don't even know if her striking looks better, and it does. So don't get me wrong. But she looks more comfortable striking, whereas before, if she got hit or if things didn't go well, she kind of like reached and would like. I mean, of course, she would desperation shoot, but she would also kind of reach and flit her arms a little bit. Now she looks pretty comfortable. She looks good. Luana's just an athlete. She moves well. She does most stuff well.
Can we say it? Everybody goes crazy when we say it. We have to say it, though. We have to.
What's that?
Female Anderson Silva, Luana Carolina. She is. She really is. Look at all her fights. She's just picking people apart.
Yeah. She does.
She's dynamic.
Now, do you think she can stave off the takedown of Montana?
See, that's the thing. I love Luana. I'm a Luana Carolina enjoyer as much as the next guy. I bet her almost every single fight. I love her. But this is a really tricky matchup for her. It wouldn't be a tricky matchup if all Montana did was still grapple. It's weird. Montana's striking has got much better, but it's weird her wrestling has almost regressed a little bit. Or she doesn't use it near as much as she used to. right? Andrea Lee came out, took her down, whooped her in that first round. Then round 2 and 3, she looked like Anderson Silva. The way she was moving and gliding, parrying, countering back, she looked really good.
She started to hit hard.
Yes,
like she has some power in her hands.
I think this is a fun fight. Like I really actually am into this fight. Luana Carolina, I give volume and aggression by far. Montana is probably a little more power. She's a little wider, a little slower, but she also has a big grappling upside.
Yes, and she can level change into shots. And even if she doesn't get them, now that pulls Luana back.
It's a great fight. I guess we have to see just how good. It's not so much Luana Carolina's takedown defense, but once she hits the mat, she's pretty good at elevating, finding a way back up, and then countering off that. So I'm fascinated with this matchup. I'm going to go Luana. I think she just like kind of fights with more. Montana De La Rosa is going to end up retiring as like one of the best girls to just never do anything really, because she is skilled and she is good and a big body and all the good stuff.
I'm going to go the other way. I think I like Montana here. I think it's a very close fight. Montana is the more skilled fighter. Luana is the better fighter. I think that, just fights more. Gosh, it makes me want to say Luana, but I'm going to stick with Montana. It's a close fight. I'm going Montana here.
All right.
Producer, let's get on this.
Hey, don't look down, but I am not wearing underwear. Okay, what do we have next?
Next fight, Charles Johnson versus Ramazan Temirov.
Perfect. That was perfect.
Dude,
do you know the odds on this? Why don't you pull up the odds and we can do that? And because I remember looking at them earlier, and this was actually a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. I thought Ramazan was going
to be a huge favorite.
Yeah, it was going to be a big favorite. The reason why I thought that, of course, it's, he has the record. He's young, all of that stuff.
It's actually minus 110s both ways.
Well, I thought it was something like that, minus 110. Johnson, though, he pressures. He does everything well. Where whatever the hell his name, Ramazan, he just swings and misses and swing. He's just a fighter. He's just swinging for the fences. Whereas Charles Johnson, I think, can pick him apart and can do a lot. The issue is Charles Johnson's chin. And he's older. He does get a little chinny, but he has put together 3 or 4 wins in a row against really good people. And then even his losses are to really good people, and he's losing decisions, and he knows how to work the system. He's fought a lot. He knows how to win fights. And now, when we saw it in that Sudajari or whatever the hell fight, is he's starting to offensively grapple, whereas before we've started to see him defensively grapple a lot. I think you've said forever that he's chasing a submission and wants that.
Well, he told us that into the locker room. Like, that's the inside info these people go for. The dude, we were hanging out with the dude the whole week, and he's like, I'm going to get my first submission. I'm going to give him. He went against Zalgas. He did not get it. He's fighting a generational curse. Black man cannot submit others, so he's fighting against just biology. But
I can't jump. He can't submit.
It is what it is, the way of the world. I can't do either because I'm a little half of everything. So,
Johnson, I think, is going to pick him apart. I think, I like Johnson for the win. I think I do, but that power is something
at least in the
scary.
first round.
Yes, the power. But it's funny I say that, but I think he's going to do just what he did to Sumadarji. Is he's going to grapple the first round. He's going to grapple, put a lot of that blood in, take a little bit of that speed, take a little bit of that power, and then start to come on. I like Johnson here.
This one feels like an aura play on Temirov. It's weird because it feels like they're bringing him in just to steamroll guys. You're fighting Charles Johnson, your second fight, which is a big fight. So it feels like they really have a lot of faith in him that he's going to just steamroll him. And looking at his body like is crazy,
especially for a 25er, like that size.
For a 25er, the way that he hits.
Do you know how tall he is?
He's got to be 5'3", 5'4", right? There's no way he's taller than that.
Not looking like that. But it's just like the way he framed as he hits people, that he hits like a Mack truck, like it just cracks you. The issue is he's got these little tiny dinosaur arms, and like if Charles holds in zero setups,
none, and so you're just like, this is the ultimate ape, but he has insane power if he touches you. What I worry about is just how juiced up he is for this fight. Really, honestly, no juice. Charles Johnson just kills him every which way that he can. Geez, I'm going to go put Charles Johnson also. Like, I just think he's the better fighter. If he escapes this without getting chinned in the first round, I think this is coasting for him. I think a good play here, actually, because Charles can't really finish many people.
No.
So you do Temirov as the finish only. A finish only play.
I like that.
Yeah.
You actually did really well on your picks this last week. You were like 10-1 or something like that.
Ricky
like
Simone.
9-1, yeah. Simone, man. Like
Simone. How you do? Thank you.
That is. We talked about Simone. We thought, maybe he can win this just because Javid does so little. But the way that Ricky Simone won it was not anywhere near what I was,
Hey, I called a couple of those down to a T. I was proud. Even the Vanderford one.
Simone by KO.
I said he's going to crack. I said he's going to meet him in the middle. He's going to crack him. I said that.
You did not say.
Run back the tape.
You guys go back and look. You said he's going to meet him in the middle and swing. You did not say Ricky Simone KO.
I literally said, I opened up the podcast with, just so you guys know, my play of the week is Ricky Simone, not by knockout. I run it back. It's on public record. You're wearing a backwards hat. What are we listening to you for? Next one, please.
Oh, man. I'm going to start getting criticized by you and Gabe today. Gabe's getting into another Ponzi scheme over here, and I'm trying to talk him out of it. Oh, my gosh.
Next fight.
It's called Christianity.
Next fight, Andrea Lee versus JJ Aldrich.
Man, this fight.
That was a good one. That was a nice one.
Andrea Lee, I think, has lost her last 5.
Dude, it's hot as hell in here.
Dude, it's so hot in here. It's hot in my house because we just haven't turned. It's like we haven't turned the AC on or anything.
You're selling it
cold. Yeah,
you're selling it, so you're like, forget it. We don't need AC.
Make sure it's AC and not the heat, dude. You have to look at the remote to tell you.
He's a gambler. He's just going to go 50-50 odds.
Does it say cool or heat? Dude, my son is regressing with his IQ. It's brutal right now.
Are we going to get to see some lashings like live on air?
I hope so. I hope you say something.
You will reach across that table.
I wish you would. I keep telling him when he's 15, I'm buying him headgear and some boxing gloves.
That's this year.
I know.
Do you know what your dad used to do to me all the time?
What I used to do?
Well, we were just talking about this, you sparring, and I was young. I was 18 years old. I think I weighed 120 pounds if I was really lucky. And you would spar, and I would hit you a little harder than you wanted to be hit. And you would just start throwing head kicks at me.
Fake news.
And one time, have we told the mooning story?
Oh, yeah, numerous times.
Okay. Then we have new viewers, but, tune in.
Yeah. JJ Aldrich these are you haven't used this term in a while.
Okay.
You haven't used it. Nothing burgers. These are 2 nothing burgers.
I don't think that's my term, and I really don't want to claim that one.
I think you did. I think you would. I think that was a Brandan term, and I think that's. It's funny because I think Andrea Lee, is a more skilled fighter. Gosh, her fight IQ is 3 levels below Brennan Allen's. Which,
what do we say? What an idiot.
You said that to a T. I thought he had a chance of getting the upset.
He did. He was beating his ass.
He did, and all he had to do was take one step back and punch, and instead he's like, nah, let me pull guard, jump back.
For the back.
It was, I'm in the back, before Henry was really started warming up and stuff. No, because it was at that fight. No, Henry was actually done warming up, hanging out. I get a text from my producer son over here that goes, Brennan Allen must have the worst fight IQ in the world. And this is coming from a 14-year-old. He's just pulling guard and over grappling and falling down. I'm like, what banana peels are you slipping on over here?
On the other end, Hernandez's grappling is unbelievable.
It's wild. It's wild.
He's so good and does nothing but so good.
Gosh. But anyway, Andrea Lee is the female version of Brennan Allen. Really good skill. Just some days she just doesn't put it together and isn't doing the right thing. And I actually like her. I mean, of course we know her. We know Tony Kelly and that whole crew. But I think she's actually talented. She has a long jab. She doesn't use her range as well as she should. She fights so close to her head instead of reaching a little bit, being long, fighting long. But she has good jiu-jitsu. Her weakest area is her, I don't know if you'd call it takedown defense or getting back up after taking down, a little bit of both. But then you have JJ Aldrich, who just kind of stands there at this point. When she was fighting Veronica, she had Veronica would move an inch to the left, and JJ Aldrich saw a ghost. I was like, what happened? She moved. And then just tried to push her to the cage and her cage wrestling is not amazing. This comes down to like volume and throwing and activity, and then cage pushing by JJ. My brain says that JJ Aldrich will just like push her way to a close split decision. I want to choose Andrea Lee to just something because I feel like she could do something. But I think JJ will probably win it.
Yeah, JJ
by
like,
boring split decision.
Yeah, she's a weight class wrong. She should be way skinnier in a better weight class, but she doesn't make a lot of mistakes. She will get out athleted all the time.
Like, everything.
Yeah, I mean, she's not athletic. She's just kind of a blob, and she's there, and she's there, and she doesn't make a lot of mistakes. I could see Andrea Lee easily winning this fight, right? Front kicks up the middle, tons of jabs, just tons of volume. But the thing is, JJ is always going to be there, counter punching, left, right hook, takedown. She's good.
I don't even know takedown, just cage push, like almost a takedown, but Andrea pops back up, and then they're on the cage for a while, and you spend 2.5 minutes on the cage, and then they separate. And I think Andrea will land some good stuff, but Andrea doesn't throw with enough hate to put the damage.
JJ looks like she's got a little bit of power for the weight.
She does.
Yeah, I like JJ. Not a lot. Not going crazy with it, but yeah.
Clubber Lang JJ. Let's go.
I don't know that reference.
From Rocky.
From what?
Rocky 3, Clubber Lang.
What the hell are you talking
Mr.
about?
T.
I thought you were talking about a watch brand.
You guys, this is what I'm dealing with. I'm dealing with a guy who doesn't know Clubber Lang. Like, this is where we're at.
I thought you said it was Rocky. What are you talking about? He's the trainer?
Holy shit.
Oh, my God. All right, next one,
Holy
please.
shit.
Next
you guys, flame. Please do it. Please do it.
Next fight, Danny Silva versus Lucas Almeida.
This is actually a good fight. Do you want to go first? You want?
Yeah. I can't wait to see this fight. I think Danny Silva is going to destroy him, though. I know where you're going to go with this because Lucas Almeida is fast and he's really long. Danny's boxing is really good. And he puts tight combinations together a lot, but he can grapple too. And I think his ability to mix the martials is going to be all the difference here. I think he can hurt Almeida big time. I think he's the one that they're pushing. I like everything about Danny Silva as much as I like Almeida, but I think last fight he took advantage of Timmy Kwamba, who's a little bit outsized, not as good of a striker, very generalist. I think that Danny Silva is a lot more comfortable in that pocket. I think he's going to hurt Almeida.
Yeah, Almeida's stance is very Muay Thai-ish, even though I think he's a little, you'd consider more of a puncher than you would a kicker, but he's kind of
very
glued, like squared, shelled up.
I'll be honest, he looks very out of shape too.
He looks like he got old all of a sudden. Like it was like he was good, and then all of a sudden he got old, like old man saggy body. I know I'm dealing with that right now. Like my skin is falling off of my bones, where I'm like, I just can't lose weight anymore, and you just become fat and old. But he does all the right stuff. He throws good long punches, and that left hook can hurt people. His takedown, his grappling's decent. This isn't going to be an offensive affair on him doing any grappling defensively, but you said it. Danny does something a lot of people don't do well. He's not just an MMA puncher. He actually boxes. Like you tell, he rolls his shoulders
like an actual boxer.
Yeah, like you just see it in his stance. He's standing like in kick range, head kick me, hands down, like narrow, but he makes it work. He does it. He does it in the MMA version. But he throws hard. He mixes well. He has really good aggression. And he mixes his wrestling. He knows how to get those takedowns. The thing though I'm curious about is he hurt Culebao early. We saw that in that fight. But Culebao doesn't have power. Culebao's not a guy that's like a dangerous power. He's moving, he switches stances, and he's a crafty little bugger, and he won't die. I'm curious to see how Silva deals with the power of Almeida. Because, does he fight him the exact same way that he would fight, Culebao? Or do we see some changes in there? And then does he start to grapple a lot more, especially early because of the power of
I think he will, probably.
Yeah, I think he probably will, and he probably should, especially early to get that, again, just take away a little bit of that speed and power. But he mixes his boxing and his wrestling well, and I don't think he's freaked out to stand. So I don't think he's going to adrenaline death gas himself by trying to wrestle the first round.
Sorry, and he's minus 210, and Lucas is plus 180.
Okay. I think that is reasonably line.
The over is set at 1.5, which I think I like the over. I know it's chalked a little bit.
Oh yeah, I
1.5,
think that's actually solid right there.
I think this is going to be one of those you're clenching your ass cheeks the whole time because they could always KO each other.
Yeah.
But I think it will end up going over.
Okay. Yeah, I like it. I like Danny Silva for the win. I think the over is solid here. Producer, what do we got?
Next fight, Douglas Silva de Andrade versus John Castaneda.
What do you
I
do?
could listen to this all day. Man, Silva de Andrade. Like, if you are like, what is their last name? Like, what is the last name? Is it Douglas? It's like, I mean, Douglas de Silva de Andrade de.
So the way that it was explained to me in my limited, affiliation with someone on the last video goes, a Brazilian must have taken your girlfriend, Brandon. That's why you're so pissed off at that. And I was like, if you only knew my friend, I conquered your country already. I guess every Brazilian, when they're born, their last name is always da Silva, but it's silent always. So you'll have any other last name. You're DeFranco da Silva.
Why?
It's just they add names. Like you're Enzo DeFranco da Silva, but then you'd only go by Enzo DeFranco.
I just got dumber and more confused, and I'm not. It doesn't even make sense.
Seriously,
holy shit!
Whenever you watch the jiu-jitsu guys go, you're always gonna see. You're like, oh, this guy's super famous, Nicholas Marigelli, and then they'll put him up on the thing, and his legal name is Nicholas Marigelli da Silva. See what I'm saying? That's how it works.
All right, man. Okay, so he's older than a dinosaur. I think he's 39 now.
I think he fought on UFC 1.
I know. I think he's the guy with like on the logo. Fighting, he's always tough, dude. He's always tough. He still won't die. Left hook, right hook. He's like a mini Vanderlei Silva. I
think he's just an older John Lineker.
Yeah, he is an older John Lineker. Castaneda's good. He does all the right stuff. The calf kicks, the low kicks, he mixes. You're just dealing with a freight train in front of you. This should be a comeback, get on the right track for Castaneda by decision. I think he can, do enough, but I think Silva's hard enough to finish. And Castaneda, for as good as he is, he's not like some amazing grappler, some amazing puncher, some amazing something. He's very general, and he's good at a lot of stuff, but I don't know that he put Silva away. I like Castaneda here by decision.
Let's see. John Castaneda is minus 275. Douglas Silva, pardon me, plus 235. Yeah, I think John just picks him apart all night. It's the thing that I love most about John is he's a very intelligent fighter. He makes really good reads while he's standing, switch stances a lot. He's always mixing up the look. If he doesn't get bombed on in the first round or round and a half, I think he cruises easily to a victory here. But he's just a really, really smart fighter.
You got to watch the nuclear option. Who was it recently that he looked great against and then got kneed in the face?
Not Willie Cat Santos.
Yeah.
Or maybe he beat Willie Cat.
I forget exactly who it was, but he was looking great and then just got deathed. Might have been Willie Cat, who's just a savage human over there.
Yeah, why can't we get that guy a fight? He lost a decision to Daniel Marcos, and he lost to Daniel Santos by knee. Okay. Can we get that guy a fight? That dude is like one of the best that I've seen. Like, he's amazing.
He's amazing. Not too much to say there. I think it's the stance switching, the movement.
What's said's been said.
We're done. And so say more.
Ricardo Ramos versus Chepe Mariscal.
Chepe? Dude, you live in Arizona. Don't you have some brown friends?
He can't pronounce his own name correctly. He was trying to say SNL earlier. He's like, I'm going to watch some old episodes of SNL. And he's like, SNO. I'm like, what? I'm like, SNO. I'm like, are you saying no? SNO? And he's like, SNL. And I'm can't say three letters. S.
I know what that smile is. That smile is because he knows he's doing it on purpose just to piss you off, and you're falling right back in the trap, getting more mad about it. He's like, Dad, I got you.
I'm living in the trap, and every sentence he is just digging me deeper into this thing.
He's probably got a journal. He's like, today I told Dad SNO. I know better than that. I'm not an idiot.
Yeah, that one really made him mad. Oh man. Who would have thought?
The last time that he produced our podcast, we're sitting here, and we're just sitting here, and it's quiet, and we're kind of like in between, and we just hear,
Oh yeah,
Like the
He's,
foot just kept
kicking
going.
stuff
He's
and-
like rubbing this cloth right here, and both of us are like, all right, and we kind of
Yeah.
like look at each other like,
yo,
hey.
you gotta stop that shit.
So the fourth time that it happened, we had to be like, yo, timestamp this. We're turning this shit off. Stop that. Go to bed.
Man, Ramos is good. Jiu-jitsu is good. His back takes are great. Homie will play on his back. If he doesn't get that guillotine, he jumps. He gets silly, jumps a gilly. And then he got gillied himself by, who was it? The Frenchie.
Yeah, Charles Jourdain.
Yeah, Jourdain, who was another victim of Gene Silva in like possibly the worst murder. He just uppercutted him. Jourdain flew a foot off the ground. And just it was like a cartoon.
I forgot he fought Jourdain because Jourdain's so small and frail to me.
And now
he's been
at
fighting
35,
monsters. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But anyway, man, Ramos does all the right not all the right stuff. He's athletic. He moves well. He will gas out. I like his kicks. Even his offensive wrestling early is good. But man, Chepe, I think what is he, 4-5-0 in the UFC now? Beat Trevor Peak. Just beat Damon Jackson. Like he's beating good guys, doing really good stuff. He beat Jack Jenkins.
Yeah.
I mean, the dude can do no wrong. So at this, and he beat Charrier. So I mean, like he is doing it right now. He's got the cardio. He's well rounded. The dude will not stop. He's got the judo trips to get on top. All of the offensive grappling. Give me Chepe all day long, twice on Saturday nights.
That's weird. He's a minus 450 and Ricardo's plus 350.
Okay. Like,
yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine with that too. Maybe there'll be places you can claim value or whatever, but I think Chepe is like kind of going to run through him.
I think it's probably Chepe inside the distance.
Yeah, I think he's going to run through him. Maybe that's famous last words like we do a lot. We're like, bet your house on it. It goes the other way. But I mean, he's good, and Ricardo's been quitting a lot.
Yeah.
I don't even think Ricardo's what he used to be.
I think you're right.
All right.
I think out of all the Brazilians that when USADA left, they all got better and back on everything, and he somehow like got the memo wrong. It was
he's
like
just
lost
the one
in
do-gooder in
translation.
school. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, oh wait. He flipped the English and the Portuguese around, and it was like, no, we're not taking steroids anymore. And he's like, oh, okay, got it. We're not doing this.
He's that alpha male, you know.
Is he Ricardo Ramos?
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. Huh. Well,
He doesn't train from shoot a box.
He knows what he's doing.
All right.
All right.
What do we got?
Next up.
Next fight, Austen Lane versus Mario Pinto. First off, did I get that right?
That wasn't bad.
I mean, that was a pretty
Austen Lane,
easy
yeah.
one.
I mean, that's like
You got teed up with an American guy and Pinto, which is
Pinto.
a bean you've been eating for like 3 weeks.
I mean, I don't know. Give you your thoughts on Lane, Pinto.
Honestly, I really want to pass this one.
This one sucks, but I haven't seen enough on Pinto. He looked okay on Contender. Did all the right stuff, kind of. I mean, framed a little bit. I didn't really like it. But Lane will wrestle. We saw that against Robelis. It wouldn't surprise me to see him wrestle a little bit. It was a weird finish on Contender where we just see Pinto just like barely throw the slightest left hook ever, and dude falls down. Wouldn't be surprised if Lane did that as well. But
Yeah, Lane runs with his chin
he
straight
just
up.
like lunges in and leaves. But he's a big, athletic, strong guy. I kind of lean Lane here, barely, just because I've seen more of him, and I think we thought Robelis was just going to knock him out, and then he showed that he was smarter than that, and was like, no, I'm actually going to wrestle the guy that everyone's doing. So it's like, okay, so you see it, which leads me to believe he's going to get a little bit better and better. But yeah, I kind of lean Austen just because the guy Pinto, I don't know. Maybe because I haven't seen enough on him.
He's got some hype behind him. And
Yeah.
I guess I'm not sure what it is. I didn't love his
I
tape.
don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hype is. I don't know.
He's kind of slow, sluggish, like just kind of hangs out.
Yeah.
I guess I'm going to go Pinto just to be on the opposite side of Lane.
Yeah. It's not a bad bet. But at heavyweights, when you don't know a lot about guys and you're a smaller, you're an unassuming, unathletic heavyweight, maybe give me the heavyweight who was a high-level football player, athlete, 6'4", guy can kind of like blast double
Move,
you
yeah.
and do it. So, okay, what do we have next? We're kind of cruising through these. It's just such kind of a lame card that it wasn't Like this card was
It was hard to get up for.
Yeah, it was hard to like watch a lot of tape, and some of these, as you can tell, we did not watch a lot of tape. I watched a contender series of Pinto. Of course, we've watched Austen Lane, but I'm like, let's talk about these fights, give a little bit, but this is definitely not the fight of the year.
Next fight, Danny Barlow versus Sam Patterson.
I like me some Danny Barlow.
He's nice.
The thing I like most about him, he was on one of the contender series that I was at. I don't know if that was KC, Tanner, or who it was, but he was raw. And then you see him even against Quinlan. He looked better, but he was raw. And then you saw him. Who was his last fight?
Hold up.
Yeah, pull that up. But he's looking better and better and better in these fights. And I like his trajectory. He's at a small gym. I think it's Law School MMA out in Tennessee. And I kind of like, you get some of those gyms that are smaller gyms and they can put all of their focus on one guy.
Oh, that's right. He won a split decision against Nikolay Varetnikov.
That's right. So you get these smaller gyms that can put all of their energy around one guy, and it's going to do him really well for a while. It's not going to do him well when he starts fighting the top 20 of the division. He's going to need to train with those type of people so he knows. But at this level, it's going to do him really well. Clean, good striking, doesn't do anything like overly wild, isn't unneeded movement, energy, athletic, does all the right stuff. I like him. Patterson on the other side is actually not bad. He looks better than he did, of course, when Yanal like one punched him. And that's a hard situation because Yanal's just a hard swinging power punch, duck his head and go. And Patterson reaches with, with those hands, chin up and everything. But Patterson can grapple. And his striking's not bad. Maybe he just looks clunky because he's so tall, but he can grapple. The issue is he hasn't fought good people. He fought Crosby, he fought Yanal. Who's the other one? Who's the second fight in the UFC? Do you remember off the top of your head?
Johan Lenace.
Yes, Lenace, who death gasses. So I gotta go Barlow here just by being athletic and not doing anything dumb. And I actually think it'll be a close. I don't want to say a close fight. I think Barlow is going to win this decisively, but I don't think it's going to be like he knocks him out. I don't think it's going to be like some brutal anything or even picks him apart so badly. I think it's going to be him landing well, Patterson trying to get a takedown and trying to find his way, not, getting turned, getting stifled out a little bit, and Barlow just winning a good, solid, dominant decision.
I think there is upset potential here.
You think so?
We just haven't really seen a lot of grappling from Barlow.
Yes. Yep.
And Patterson is actually tricky and pretty decent with his takedowns. Mm-hmm. And then his jiu-jitsu is excellent. Yeah. It's really, really good. And if he's having a close split decision with Nikolay Varetnikov, who is a fine striker, but slows down certainly a lot. And we just saw him get destroyed by Vanderford. And obviously it's different fight styles. It's hard to say that. But what I'm saying is I think he's LFA champion level, but not UFC level, if that makes any sense. Patterson's nice. And the weight class was good for him because he was a 55er, moved up to 70, has looked much better. Yep. I think the weight class is a huge deal for him. He's got a lot of confidence. He beat a lot of the Russian guys in ACA too. He's always been kind of a good counter grappler, good long guy, can crack a little bit. I think there is a lot of upset potential here with Sam Patterson. Now, obviously I think they're trying to really push Danny Barlow, and this is a good spot. I think I agree with you. I think there's upset potential. If Sam won, you told me tomorrow, woke me up and said he got the win, I would say makes sense.
This fight, I think, is predicated upon Barlow staying sharp and not going, getting pushed to the cage, and Sam Patterson's there, and Barlow not going, I'm good here. Is not, and kind of, if he's sharp and if he gets pushed to the cage and doesn't wait for Patterson to mess up, quote unquote, to get out. And he's like, no, he's very deliberate about, let me stay off the cage. Let me keep my distance. If he's very disciplined in this fight, it should be pretty dominant. But of course, sometimes we just sit on the cage. You get a little tired.
Too long, yeah.
I'm going to hang out here. I'm good. And then people.
Yeah, this big tall guy just hanging on you. I'm going to pick Danny Barlow too. I think it is the same way that you do. It's going to be bigger moments versus a lot of cage pushing, a lot of grappling transitions. But I think that he's just going to have the bigger, sharper moments.
Okay. Who do we got up next?
Hyder Amil versus William Gomis.
Did I tell I told this Korean Tiger story, right? About the brother?
No.
I didn't?
Let's tune in. What do we got?
Okay. So Korean Tiger came and trained with us for the Hyder Amil fight or whatever the hell his name is. And he was with us, I forget, 6 weeks, whatever it was. He is such an athlete. It is insane. He is so good.
Also, we need to probably say this too. Koreans by far the sexiest Asians.
Oh, by far.
It's not even close. And I'm like, this is such a small place. How are you guys so much better looking than the rest?
The most gorgeous of the...
That dude's chiseled out of stone.
Yep.
All right. Anyways.
And nicest guy too. So I don't know how this trend started, but first of all, anytime any of the Asians come into town or leave town, they give gifts, which I like. Like, you guys need to start doing that. Like, I like that a lot.
My new favorite thing is watching the Chinese and the Japanese try to talk to each other.
Okay.
It's hilarious. Like, they just translate to English for each other.
They don't understand each other? Like, no. English is the common language. But so I'm always about the gifts. I do appreciate that. And the last time he left, he got me, like, they're buying me Lululemon shorts and like a Lululemon t-shirt. Like, they're always getting me like athletic wear from Lululemon, which I don't hate. I'm not mad about it. But anyway.
No, he don't like you. If he really liked you, just like every other Asian, he would have got you some Balenciagas.
Yeah, hasn't happened yet. So apparently I'm not that liked. But Eddie was cornering for his last fight. He came in town with his brother and his wrestling coach. Wrestling coach was super weird. And there's a lot of like weirdness with the Koreans when they come into town because Eddie Cha, our striking coach, is Korean. And so there's a weird hierarchy of the way things are done. And it's weird to see the dynamic of that because I'm foreign to that. The fight is about to go down. So Korean Tiger, they're going downstairs, going to check in where we get our badges and then go into the van. And Eddie gets downstairs and Tiger's up. I forget what he was doing. And he looks over and sees the brother and the wrestling coach like wrestling in the, kind of hallway. And he's like, you guys, come on, let's go. We have to get our badges. He's like, you guys, come. And he's like, oh shit, they're not wrestling. They're fighting. Like, they're like straight up fist fight, grabbing each other, trying to choke each other, smash each other's head into the wall, like right in front of the UFC staff. They have to go break it up. And like, whoa. So, okay. Eddie goes, breaks it up. What are you guys doing? You guys are assholes. Let's go. 5 seconds later, just swinging again. And Korean Tiger is just there like, oh, what do I do? It's his brother and his coach and stuff. So Eddie has to like break it up again. I forget. I think it was his brother. He was like, you're not going, you stay. I forget which one. He basically had an audible and this is what we're doing. So they're fighting like tooth and nail, like fist fight, like an hour and a half before he went to fight Hyder. And so they go then. So Korean Tiger goes out there and just swinging for the fences like a maniac. I think he was just so emotionally charged from his coach and brother fighting before they go. So anyway, just a weird random tidbit. We'll get to the Hyder fight coming up here in a minute. But so they lose, they get back to the hotel and they see each other and they're like, no, all right, let's quash this because that's what this needs to happen. And so they go up to like shake hands and go, and the wrestling coach just boom, headbutts the brother right in the face.
Oh, let's go.
And they just start swinging again.
Let's go. The
cops. Yeah, the cops got called. They got arrested. It was this whole thing. Anyway, so Korean Tiger's coming back out for his next fight. Brother
and he's fighting Trevor Peek, which let's go. That's a great fight.
And his brother, and I think it's at 55. I got to verify that. I think it's up weight class. But so the brother's not coming out. The wrestling coach isn't coming out. Just Korean Tiger, who's the nicest human on the planet.
Way. Neither one is coming.
Human. But man, we cannot have people fighting in the corner.
I wonder how far they took the beef. Like not only did they headbutt each other.
So afterwards, like months later, like a month later, month later, Eddie was getting calls from like detectives. I forget if I think it was here in Korea, because one of them was trying to sue the other one or press charges. It was a whole thing. It kept going on. It just kept going and going. It was like Peter Griffin and the chicken. It just kept.
Can we have this guy on the Korean Tiger? I know you're watching this, and we trained a couple of times together. We need you on the show to give us like the latest on all of this stuff.
Awesome.
And what side are you on?
Yeah.
Whose side are you choosing?
I want to know. I know, like which one do we go with? But so Hyder is fighting William Gomis.
I forgot what fight we're talking about now.
Yeah, we're talking about Gomis, the front kick you and juke. He's like a soccer star in a cage. He just front kick, run.
Be nice.
Front kick, run. and he just moves left and right.
He is not like that.
Like he is.
He's
man.
not like
Jab,
that.
Run.
I will defend his
Jab
honor.
and
He's
run.
not like that.
Oh, you try to push me on the cage, I run. So, man, I think he wins a touch and run type of game here because Hyder's good, man. Hyder's good. His power's good. He can actually wrestle really well, but he's old, and I think if you stand there and play the game with him, yeah, he's gonna win. But if you jab and run, he's good.
Stop saying that.
So I think Gomis wins the most boring decision ever.
His fights aren't boring. Dude, I'm so sick of the hate. I love Gomis. I love this guy. He's skilled everywhere. He can do everything. He can fight any style. He'll take on any man.
Give me Gomis by decision.
Say it one more time, please.
No, I'm not doing it.
Say it one more time.
Doing it.
Kick it, run.
I started drinking tea. When I had the book.
I knew I smelt that.
Whoever smelt it dealt it.
I dealt you your tea. Yeah. That's a different kind of hash.
So so I'm not a big tea drinker. I never have been. I like coffee because I'm an American. But then at night I was doing 18, 20 hours of writing nonstop. And it would be, at 4 or 5 o'clock at night, 6 o'clock.
You don't have a toilet in here. So I understand. Your adrenals going crazy.
Yeah. I'm just
going full of shit.
So I started drinking, but I like hot drinks at night when I'm when I'm working. So with the job, with the writing, with everything, like sometimes I'm up till 1 o'clock in the morning working at the clicking away like a psychopath, and I want something hot to drink. So I started drinking tea, decaffeinated at night. But anyway, that's what I'm doing. I don't feel good about it. I don't feel.
You
good
should.
About it.
It's a mature. Actually, after I leave here, I'm going to get tea.
I remember for a while you were
you got me for my birthday. I was into the tea thing big time. Bitches love tea.
Are you still into the tea?
I have a tea drawer.
Okay.
I don't partake so much.
Do you mess with like a tea bag, or is it like
the
loose
leaf
tea?
Nah, I'm not an asshole. Like a tea bag, I'll get a really nice tea, but it's in a bag. It's just more convenient.
Okay.
I don't have time. Same thing with coffee. I don't have time for the thing and the stamp and the twist and I like a nice thing of espresso. I like a nice cup of coffee.
Yeah.
But I don't have time for all
You're not
that.
going to aerate it and go through.
Come on. Yeah. It's too much. There's not enough of a difference.
Dude, I have a espresso maker and I push a button and espresso comes out, and then it does something with the grounds all separate from my knowledge.
I just open my mouth and just right to the hatch.
All right, man. So Gomis by decision. What do we have next?
Was that French?
I don't know what it is. We're tired around here.
Esteban Ribovics versus Nasrat Haqparast.
Man,
dude, try one more time. That was brutal, man. Why do you keep reading these as 9 different words?
Yeah.
It's only one word.
In 3 languages.
He's code switching on us. He's trying to cover a wide audience for us.
Nasrat Haqparast.
This dude's just naming poems. What's going on?
You're not even trying. It's just just random words, like random sounds.
Well, it has a Q and then it has a P. So how does that work?
Did you have a stroke mid-sentence? Like, what is going on here?
You're your father's son.
Get you checked out. All right, Nasrat and
my brother,
Esteban.
my twin, my brother.
Yes. Man, Nasrat to me, gosh. He's good, and I know he's good.
What do you want? You want more tea?
I don't.
Producer?
I need tea. You want to know what I had earlier today was a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. That was the best thing I'd eaten in.
You know what I've had never?
What?
A peanut butter and jelly sandwich, because it would kill me.
Oh yeah. Hey, 2 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Stat. Not even like almond butter or some shit like that.
I don't know. I eat pesto for years. I guess that has nuts.
Pine
in it.
nuts. I don't know if those count. So Nasrat does Southpaw, does a lot of stuff well. He, for a long time, I feel like he was almost like a Ayman Zahabi, where it's just like an overhand and it was like sloppiness. But over the last few fights, I feel like he's really cleaned up and sharpened shit up quite a bit. His stance is a little heavy over that lead leg, and I think he takes a little bit too much damage because of that. But that's how he throws that big overhand. but almost everything is a decision. He's just not a guy who's going to hurt people. I don't know if he could hurt somebody's feelings, let alone like knock somebody out in a fight against another competitive
That's
human.
a good one. Can we clip that,
Like,
actually?
yeah. But then you have Esteban, who's got a melon. Who, I mean, that dude can eat punches.
I didn't think he could get hurt, but he got hurt at the Sphere.
He did get hurt at the Sphere, recovered well, did well. But Zellhuber's got to be, what, 6'2"? I mean, he's a massive, massive human. My issue with Ribovics winning this, and I do think Ribovics wins it. I think the odds are a little bit far in one favor. I don't know that he should be this big of a dog. Nasrat is he really needs a brawl. He needs a firefight to look good and to go. And he's in your face and going. And one thing that he does, and we've talked about this all the time, is he goes in and he'll cover and be swinging with it. Like he knows he's going into the fire and he's okay with that. And he does it and he does it well. He mixes his kicks in well. Sometimes I think he almost pre-plans his combos a little bit too much where it doesn't look like they're natural. It's like 1-2 head kick. And it's like, that was just not anywhere near. And we all do it. Everyone's throwing stuff. You're putting feelers out there just to go. But Nasrat is so calculated in his attacks. And he really isn't. Like there's not some major hole. And then you have Ribovics who just has the volume. I'm almost talking myself into a Nasrat.
No, I understand what you're saying, but then you have to just say what you were going to say about Esteban. He's got the volume, but he's got crazy power for how much volume he has.
And the cardio too.
It's ridiculous.
Yes.
He's got the most overpowered striking I've ever seen.
Yeah. So no, you're right. But then he has those little T-Rex arms. And Nasrat was getting hit with Jared Gordon and stuff. So
that's the thing is,
but Jared Gordon's wrestling and was mixing it up and was really doing some different stuff. So I do have Esteban. I do think he wins by volume, pressure. I mean, it's just he's a lot. He's lot
good,
to handle.
Man.
He's a lot to handle. And if Nasrat was going to beat Esteban, I think he has to offensively wrestle him. Which I mean, do we ever see him do that? Like,
no, we don't. And he's been training at Killcliff for so long, and he had that fight against Loic, who tried the same thing, and he got up and beat Loic's ass.
Yeah, but remember, Loic that was a 5 days notice switch up.
Whatever. That he's been wrestling since he was a youth.
Loic has also been pretty hot and cold on his.
I'll just say that Esteban's tricky once he gets to the ground.
Yeah, no, he is.
He's tricky.
He is.
And, Kamuela tried his best, and Kamuela is an amazing black belt and can wrestle.
Yeah.
And he tried his darndest.
Yeah, but finishing people on the back and taking the back are different things.
Do you think Haqparast has better chances of finishing him than Kamuela?
No, not at all.
Absolutely not.
No,
so I can't see it.
I'm just trying to play a little devil's advocate because there is I think Haqparast again. He almost fights like a who's the kid Basharat. We're not that far at all, but just he's very he's definitely thinking safety first versus let me go swing and fight first.
I love Haqparast. I think the dude's awesome. Like he's just got crazy volume. He's game to fight. I love the guy. I just think this is kind of a bad fight for him. I mean, Esteban is so calm, so powerful, so dynamic. He makes really good reads too. He does the same Killcliff thing where he parries the jab, throws the right hand right over it. He's really clean.
It's not going to matter too much on Esteban. What the other thing too is he's going to fight a southpaw. So Nasrat is a southpaw.
But I don't think it matters with Esteban because a lot of times he squares up in his stance.
And he'll switch stances as well. He's used to switching stances. Yeah. So you're right. I'm trying to make more of a case. I think I'm trying to make more of a case because I feel like Haqparast always proves to me wrong.
I agree the line is wide. I think Nasrat's going to be a great dog that just doesn't win.
Yeah. Okay. I see it. How is that not the co-main event, but Brundage is?
I mean, because at least that fight's guaranteed to finish.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cody Brundage versus Julian Marquez.
Why did you, dude? Try it again. Marquez.
Julian Marquez.
Yes. All right.
There you go. You were adding letters.
Yeah. Well, I mean, usually
we're adding syllables.
When Buffer or the other guy says it, he says it in an accent, so it sounds like Marquez.
Wait, who says it in an accent?
Who the hell says Marquez?
Martinez does.
Oh my gosh. Marquez. We're making fun of my child over here. Go. You love you some Cody.
No, I think Cody can win this fight. I mean, every time I've seen Marquez lately, like in person, because he moved down here to the lab,
Yep.
just drunk as hell.
Is he?
Just drinking all the time, just being Cuban, just normal life, just chilling. At least Cody's pretending to be a fighter. Trying.
Is he, though?
He's trying.
He took 2 fake wins out of the last 3
What do you always say? Winning is the most important thing. That's what you say. And now you're going to try to switch up for the people.
True.
It's a W on his record. It isn't not.
W's a W. Man.
He's still fighting. He's co-main eventing.
Now, all
fresh
right.
off 2 wins.
It's funny because I actually think Cody is skill for skill. Like we always say, if they're training in the gym, I bet you Cody would whip up.
Cody doing like his little ollie shuffle and popping him with a jab.
But man, Cody hates to fight. He hates to fight. He hates to fight. And he's going like decisions with Cedric Dumas. And
I think Marquez hates to not be drunk.
It's true. Sobriety is horrible sometimes. But the issue with Marquez is just his chin. And his cardio. Well, his cardio was Barry Alt, and he was swinging on him. And then, of course, we saw what happened. But his chin just failed him. I mean, for who the hell was that kid that just torched him? That Brundage.
Zach Reese.
Yeah, Zach Reese, who's like the stiffest, most awkward human ever going at it. I want to like Cody round 1, and then anything after that, I'm going Marquez, because man, Cody's just he's actually not bad. I mean, he's dropping Hidalgo, he's dropping people, he can wrestle, he can go. The issue is if he doesn't get you out of there round 1, he just quits. He doesn't want to be in there. So I go Cody round 1, KO TKO, or anything after 4 minutes, and it's a Marquez win inside the distance.
I agree 100%.
Let's talk this main event.
Manel Kape versus Asu Almabayev.
Close enough. Good way to end the show. That was great.
That wasn't bad. Give me your thoughts on this, and we'll be done here for the night.
Yeah, I'll keep this one really short. I think Manel's the most talented guy at 125. Honestly, scale for scale, maybe the most talented guy in any division. Like, he really is, I think, that good. He's the only guy that gets in the way of him. And I think a lot of times his antics and the shit talking and, everything in between. But it seems like right now, this time period is when he's actually been the most focused that he's ever been, actually taking it serious, actually knows that he can reach championship potential. Asu is really good too. Austen does a lot of things really well. I just think a 5-round fight, that style is really, really hard to win with, especially with the guy that's got the hand speed, the power of Manel. Like, do we see Asu staying on him for 5 rounds? I mean, Manel is so freakishly athletic. He stood up for Mokaev anytime he wanted to, defended most of Mokaev's takedowns, most of everybody's takedowns, and he's just looking better and better each time out. Like, I guess I'm not sure what Almabayev's path to victory is, especially he does slow down. He does get into bad situations with guys who are way, way lower level than Manel Kape. I think Dana doesn't like Manel is really what it feels like. And if it were anybody else that didn't say all the crazy stuff he says, he would have gone right to a title after that last fight. But he's making a fight, one more fight, then go to a title. I think this is Manel's tee-up spot.
Yeah, I mean, he was supposed to fight Royval. What did Royval got, a concussion or something? Is that what it was?
Yeah,
I thought it was something like that. Yeah, Asu, man, his I love his chain wrestling. I love he will shoot that low single and then climb his way back up. And I always talk about Asedio with him and the whole Russian Dagestan kind of traditional wrestling and stuff like that. But his chain wrestling is great, and he does such a good job. If you go watch like NCAAs or something, don't watch like even the finals. Watch the semifinals, the prelim. You watch the number 1 seeded guy against an unseeded, round 1 or a seeded 20 or something like that, and you'll see stuff like this happen. Because at the number 1 versus number 2 in the finals, it's just always so competitive that you don't get to see stuff like that. But you'll see these like almost high crotch singles, low singles. And then you're going to see guys just like climb up and transition from these beautiful low movements into knees, into hips, into running doubles and taking people down. And that's what Asu does so well, is his traditional wrestling is really, really good. He's a good classically trained wrestler. And his striking has looked better over his tenure into the UFC. Like he's more comfortable. His hands are there. He's a kill cliff guy too. And I don't really know why, because they don't have little people. I don't really understand.
They do. They're not all UFC guys, but they have a subset of smaller guys.
Yeah. But you know, ATT's right around the corner and they have
everyone.
A lot of small. Well, I mean, I guess they have so many people you might not want to train there because of it. But the issue with Asu is he's just not finishing. He's not finished. I don't think he has a finish in the. No, he does. He has Odie Osborne rear naked choke. Other than that, he doesn't have a finish. And you give a guy like Manel Kape 25 minutes to hurt you, and he's going to hurt you. And I think the moment I think this fight, because Royval was pulled, I think the moment is going to be too big for Asu, just in the sense of that he's fighting up on a main event, 5 rounds. I think after it's almost like Ursa getting that title shot so soon, where I think if he had 1 or 2 more fights in the UFC before he got it, he would have won the title.
Pfeiffer and Hermanson.
Exactly. It's just a little bit too soon. And I think this is Asu. I think he's there 1 or 2 fights too early. I think he's going to lose, but I think he's going to grow a lot from it. I think Kape is going to defend the takedowns and get back up and do all of the right stuff for 2 or 3 rounds. And I actually could see a 4th or a 5th round stoppage from Kape here.
I could 100%. The dude at some point is going to get tired. At some point, he's going to go against a guy that doesn't just fall over like Kape or gets back up 100 times, and he's going to get tired. And you have 5 rounds with the sharpest striker in the flyweight division. I mean, to me, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah. That's it. That's all we got. You guys jump on the Discord. I'm going to bed.
Good night.